Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to Al-Kalimah and today I'll be talking about the meaning of Eid and why we celebrate. So what is the meaning of Eid? In the Arabic, Eid comes from the root Ada. Ada ya'udu, to return back, or to return, or come back. This is the literal meaning of the origin of the word Eid. Terminologically, we understand it as a celebration, a festival. And we celebrate, we wear new clothes, we visit our loved ones, we celebrate, we are happy and festive. But what has that got to do with returning and going back? The meaning of this is, in the holy month of Ramadan, we're supposed to have been striving with ourselves to return back to ourselves, to return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the end of this month struggle and efforts in worship and contemplation and fasting, we are returning back to Allah. We have returned back to ourselves, and this is worthy of the celebration. This is why Allah has capped off the holy month of Ramadan with a celebration. Eid, the return back to Allah, the return back to ourselves. So this is why Eid is a time also of self-introspection. The whole month has gone by. How much have we returned? Returned to ourselves, to our original self, moved closer on our path to perfection, moved closer to our Lord, returned back to Him. These are questions we ask ourselves, and then indeed celebrate with whatever amount we have returned to ourselves, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now we also have in the narrations that any day where you have not disobeyed your Lord is also a day of Eid, a day of celebration, a day of return. And this is where it gets interesting, is that the concept of Eid transcends beyond the specific appointed days of celebration after the holy month of Ramadan, for example, after the days of Hajj. So a believer is striving towards perfection, is striving to improve the character, to improve themselves, to evacuate and uproot the vices that they carry, whether they are aware of some or unaware of some, to move closer to their Lord. So the concept of return is something that is paramount to a seeker of the truth and a striver towards perfection on a day-to-day basis. If you go away for a day, you go away for a month, a week, in fact you go out of the room, for example, just to refresh or do wudu again, you should come back new. We should strive to come back with a new face, with a new vitality, with a new beautiful soul, with a more beautiful character, with a more beautiful outlook. This kind of person will be an extremely beloved person to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Somebody who's always striving to return back to Him, return back to themselves, gather themselves together, come back to being closer to who they're really supposed to be. So look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself and find a newer self. Go with a different attitude. Go with love in your heart. Go with vastness in your heart. Go with an encompassing attitude of others. This is the person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would be extremely delighted with. The angels would support and aid this kind of person. creation would love this kind of person. So the concept of return and returning back to ourselves is something for a believer who is striving towards self-improvement and betterment and getting closer to the Lord. It's something we should apply in our day-to-day lives, so that all our days become Eid, become a day of celebration, a day of festivity, because we have returned back to our Lord, we have returned back to ourselves. And this is the philosophy to adopt for somebody who is striving to have a lofty character and be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So with that, I say to all of you, Eid Mubarak. May you have a blessed Eid, a blessed day of celebration and festivity, and return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and return back to our original selves. I wish you all the best and hope to see you next time on Al-Kalimah TV. Thank you. Take care. Ma'as salama.